So my son came to me one day and said I would love to have a river table, except I don't want it as river, I want it lava, so it looks kind of molten. I'd never even heard of a river table before, so I did some Googling, saw some images and was just wowed. I thought they looked incredible. I'd also never really worked with more exotic hardwoods before either, so I spent a bit of time choosing the type of wood that I was going to pick that would be perfect for the job, and settled on elm. I digitized it, so I just took a picture of it and then took it into Illustrator, where I could kind of scale it and make sure that the cutting that was going to be as accurate as possible without any wastage. Now, one lesson I did learn from others with these things is that before casting, you have to create a perfectly level bed that you are going to put the pieces into before you then pour the epoxy in, and then you build up the epoxy in different layers depending on the kind of effect that you're trying to go for. Going by the first pour, which was the bottom pour, which you can just see through it, so the flat orangey part. So in here, that was the first pour, opaque colouring, which you can just pick out through here. But you see here, it's kind of starting to just become one mass, which is not really what I wanted. I also wanted to be able to see this edge, because I think that's really pretty, and hopefully some of that, like there, will not get coloured in, just so that it gives little hints of it. So I'm hoping that doesn't spread, but we'll see. So for sanding, I don't have any kind of thick, wide belt sander or a wide thickness planer, so it was going to be good old-fashioned Makita handheld belt sander, and just making sure I squared everything up as I could. I routed the edges and then sanded it down to as fine a grit as I could get it, I think about 300, and then I varnished the whole lot. I also used resin to fill in all of the little holes and imperfections and knots, so that the surface was as smooth as possible. Then gave it however many coats of varnish, I think probably about half a dozen, just to give it that deep luster. I made a backing board for it that was going to be lit, so that was cast completely from resin, and you'll see why when we get to the lit pictures at the end. I then bolted it together quite crudely, if I'm honest, but I then used coloured epoxy to fill in the holes, and it actually worked pretty neatly. The legs, I'd intended to fabricate some legs myself, but couldn't get hold of the steel during lockdown, so I ended up buying a set from Amazon. I keep telling myself I'm going to change them, but I don't think that will actually happen. So here we go. This was a finished one without the backing. It looks gloriously red. My son loves it. The details set it off perfectly, and I just love the features in the wood. It's been a joy to do. So hope you like this video. If you want to see more, please like and subscribe. Oh, and this is as much scrap as I got left over. Really, really not much at all. See you next time.